if you're looking to hire a business coach, don't expect that they're going to reinvent the wheel for you. They're going to bring the tools that you have heard and seen and all of those things.
Yeah.
What good business coaches do is they teach you how to use those tools efficiently and how to use a hammer, not to hammer everything, how to use a pliers, how to use a wrench, how to do all of these things at a high level so you know what you're doing. And a really good business coach will help you execute on those things and walk alongside you while you're doing those and make sure you're doing the things that we're teaching you and that you say you're going to do.
Right.
Because ultimately, there's a lot of coaches out there that will teach you the things and then not see you for 3 months. And then you have no idea what you're doing, and you're paying money to not get any execution. You're paying money for the tools. You might as well just go read the book, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
that's super interesting because as you're talking about that, I'm seeing all the correlations with what we do in the financial planning space, right? So there's over 300,000 licensed advisors, right? Just means they have the securities licenses in place. Some people hold themselves out as advisors, but they only have life insurance licenses. But there's over 300,000 advisors in the U.S. right now. The financial advice that is right for you doesn't change.
Yep.
It doesn't. All the tools are out there. Like anybody could learn anything about everything on Google, maybe not Yahoo search, Ask Jeeves, rest in peace, like all those kind of things. Like all the information is there. But it's how you implement it for you is important. Like that's ultimately the best thing. And that goes back to having the person who's going to guide you and collaborate with you and partner with you and coach you, which ultimately goes back to the accountability side.
Yeah.
Which is like you can have all the information in place. I tell clients all the time, hey, the only way to build lasting wealth is have margin in your life and use that margin to buy and own appreciating assets. That's how you build wealth.
There's no secret to it.
There's no secret.
Yeah.
I know at 31 where I stand.
Yep.
It was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like the key thing is like if you just follow the process and you have the accountability, you can actually get where you want to go. And taking that back to the business piece, like the tools are there.
Yeah.
Run a good P&L.
Yeah.
Hire the right people. Define your processes, like those kind of things, right? But it's the accountability, which I'll admit, right? Like that's why we hired you to help us.
Yeah.
Is sometimes you need someone to say, hey, like we need to put a deadline on this.
Yeah.
So you can actually prioritize this appropriately for your long-term benefit, for your success.
Yeah.
And that's where like the coach comes into play.
Yeah, I think, a lot of that. And just an extra voice in the room to help you see things that you got. I mean, when I sit there and we work on sales stuff with you, it's like there are things that you guys say to me that ping me to have new ideas and new thoughts. And I know that that's happening on the adverse side of the table, which is like, I know I'm seeing around corners that you guys didn't even know were there for your business, while we build stuff together. So it's like, sometimes it's just the value of having perspective in the room and perspective from somebody that's traveling to multiple businesses, seeing how things are operating. It's like this collaborative effort that comes into the room. But yeah, you're ultimately 100% right. There's no secret to what I do. If you're looking to hire a coach or you're looking to hire anybody to help you implement a system, don't look at the tools that they have, because those tools, I'll tell you, they're pretty universal.
Yeah.
Everybody talks. I can't tell you how every coach I know says right people, right seats, like that term.
Right.
Or they say you got to have your processes documented. You got to monitor your performance. You got to have a scorecard, whatever, data. Like there's all these terms that you dress it up into something else. But ultimately, we're all saying the same thing. You have to make sure you have good people. You have to make sure that you have good processes. You have to make sure you're monitoring your performance, whether that's P&L, data, scorecard, whatever that looks like. And you got to have purpose and strategy inside of your business. If you don't have those things, you need to have those things. You don't have a business, I would argue. And if you're not doing those things well, that's a whole nother conversation. But ultimately, there is no secret to what we do. Just like in your world, the advice does not change. The advice is 100% universal. How it's executed and the relationship that you have with a coach or the relationship that you have with an advisor, that's the part that you should be shopping for. Right. Ultimately. So.
Well, that's interesting too. I'll take it back to that again. Like, we built most of our business through the Ramsey SmartVestor program, meaning we have a fundamental philosophical alignment with what Ramsey teaches. It's good common sense biblical principles around money management, all about stewardship, making sure you're making wise decisions, being proactive with your financials. The baby steps that Dave has published for 30 years, so many people have a problem with them.
Yeah.
And I just tell people right up front, like, hey, like, if you follow the baby steps to a T, you will be successful.
Yeah.
If you follow it step by step,
Yeah.
you'll be okay. That's the right advice, right? Now, I know practically speaking for different clients, sometimes because of behavior, because of
Emotion.
I was gonna say like past circumstances, like scarring, those kind of things. Like, if you're gonna be really hard set on one specific thing, like the $1,000 emergency fund, if I can still get you to make progress towards your goals with a $3,000 emergency fund while you're paying off debt, like I could care less. Keep $3,000 in your bank account and let's pay off debt. Like that's going to get you faster to your progress, but it's all about having someone who can see through the nuance, right? And actually figure out what that black swan is for your decision making so we can actually get you motivated in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I'm curious from your side, because I know how we do this on the financial advice side of things. How does someone find the right coach? So like you work with mid-market, $5 to $50 million businesses. If someone's looking for someone to be that accountability partner, that coach, that extra perspective, objective third party, whatever you want to call it, the tool orchestrator, right? How does someone find that person? And what are the questions they should be asking as they're evaluating their own business to figure that out?
Maybe like a step back, we talk about like just education of what the market looks like for coaches first. And then we talk about like how to find the right one. So what the market looks like is I always say that there's really like 3 types of coaches, specifically in the upstate, but I think this kind of is universal across the board. There's the pay-to-play model, the franchise model. You can go to Chick-fil-A, you can get the same thing across the entire U.S. over and over and over again, right? Same chicken sandwich no matter where you go, right? So there's the pay-to-play franchise model that exists. That's your EOSs, your scaling ups, your Pinnacle. All of those are essentially franchise style models, right? Nothing changes. The second type of coach that's out there is what I would call like industry specific. They started a business, they grew that business. Now they're going to teach other people in that sector how to do what they do. So Chris Breen, right? So the Academy is such a great example of that. Chris used our principles to create an amazing deck business in the upstate. Then he said, these are all the things that are missing from that system that are specific to deck builders. Like, how do we manage inventory? How do we manage this? And we don't teach those things because we are not an industry specific style of coaching firm. So what Chris did was he said, okay, I'm going to take all of these things that I learned and I'm going to take these things that are very specific to the deck industry and I'm going to go find other deck building companies nationwide and teach them how to bridge the gap. So there's like this industry specific coach. We have a ton of manufacturing in the upstate. There are a ton of manufacturing coaches that grew a manufacturing business and now they go teach other ones how to do that.
Interesting. Okay.
That's really great. But the problem with that is your manufacturing business had different struggle at different times than the one that you're looking at. So there's this, what I would say like universal approach that we're not actually seeing, around corners for that specific business. What we're doing is we're saying, this is what worked for me, go do this. And it's like, well, that might not work for them. It would be like, if I tell you in a sales process, this is what you should say, well, that's what works for Ren because that's the person and the personality that I am. But there is not a lot of people on the other side of the fence that would go execute the way that I would. So like there's this industry specific standard. The third style of coach I would say is the one that I fall into, which is not industry specific, not tied to a specific brand. I usually tell people like I'm the DJ, I'm not the artist. The artist is all the books that you see out there. Those are the things that have been created. I take all of those things, we put them in a pot, we boil them down, and we say these are the the simplest things to execute on that are going to get the highest return in the shortest period of time.
Yeah.
So we get to beg and borrow from all these other systems and platforms, and we get to use things like Lencioni and Senec and Jim Collins to bring into our operating system to help businesses and meet them where they're at. Because at the end of the day, if they have a financial problem inside of that business and we're teaching them how to manage their people, the very first thing, well, that's not really benefiting that business. We got to fix the cash flow problem first. So we can teach you how to do those things. And then we can start to talk about how do we bring more people into this organization and find the right people.